Welcome to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, at the time of this recording, we're about 2 weeks into the summer months, and these 3 meals are some of my go-to favorites. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy watching, and I hope that you recreate them at home as well. Definitely send me some comments, some good energy. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Guys, the coloration on these sausages though. So I live for a good char on my sausages, so that's why at this point these are perfect and ready for me to dive into. So I've got about a half of a green pepper, half of a white onion. I used a little adobo seasoning, and as instructed by the pack, I added about a 1/4 cup of water, but in this case, because I wasn't using vegan ground beef to add with it, I added a bit more water just to give it the consistency that I needed, and it wasn't so salty that way. Start by peeling and cutting 2 small potatoes. Cut the cabbage into very thin pieces. All right, time to clean the cabbage. I'm going to use about half of this head of cabbage for this cooked cabbage. Make sure your water is at a medium-high heat and go ahead and start adding that half of a head of cabbage. After that taste test, I knew I needed 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar and a bit more red pepper flakes because I loves a kick, baby. After that taste test, I knew I needed more cracked black pepper. Got my water and oil prepped. All right, let's go ahead and add about 6 to 8 ounces of shell. So right after I rinse and drain my pasta, I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping my veggies. Okay, before adding my seasonings, I always like to start with adding about 7 to 8 ounces of Zesty Italian salad dressing. When adding my sesame seed and sea salt, I don't measure, but I like to keep it pretty reasonable, and then I go ahead and add my veggies. Then like to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of vegan Parmesan cheese, but that's totally optional. For the herbs, we're going to start with 1 bunch of mint and a handful of parsley. So I've got half of the cabbage head, and I'm going to be adding the juice from 1 lemon. For those of you out there who love that lemony flavor, it really does brighten up this dish. If you don't like too much, I would strongly suggest maybe just half of a lemon. That should do it, but just again, totally to your taste buds. And then after that, I'm drizzling some olive oil, I'm adding some sea salt and some cracked black pepper. Okay, for the baby lima beans, we're gonna go ahead and get a 1/3 cup of those, add them to 2 cups of boiling water, and let those guys boil for about 15 minutes. As most of the water has evaporated, we're now gonna go ahead and add 2 more cups of water and reduce our heat to medium-low. Cook for 45 minutes, and they should be done. Ladies and gents, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and add my slices of mushrooms right on top of my aluminum foil, which I like to do anytime I'm going to be using butter, only because obviously I don't want to have any issues with my flame, and I just feel like this is probably the safest method because I can even like curve my aluminum foil up on the sides, and it just works out better that way. These mushrooms are just sizzling away. Okay, so these mushrooms are actually ready, but I like them to be a little bit browner. At this point, I like to go ahead, definitely have a taste test and just make sure that my seasoning proportions are perfect and just let them go just a little bit longer. Guys, this here is the bee's knees, okay? So I'm making a pretty small helping of roasted potatoes and radishes. I've got about 3 potatoes and about 5 radishes that I'm cutting up. After doing so, I'm gonna go ahead and just very moderately use some sea salt, some cracked pepper, and I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil over and then get these bad boys in the oven. So you may notice my coals have seen better days, so I have to make this quick with the corn on the cob. Alright, so it's definitely the coloration for me. Alright guys, so as you witnessed on the grill, I kind of ran out of time there, so I'm only taking this in the house for that reason. Otherwise, you would do all of these steps just in some aluminum foil right on top of the grill. I've got a few sprigs of parsley that I'm cutting up to add to my mixture to create a paste. Add this paste to the corn on the cob and then put them in aluminum foil. Don't forget to add your cilantro as well. Guys, I'm super heavy-handed with the herbs. If this looks like way too much for you, feel free to adjust. We've got the final finished product.